How's off season for spring ball?
Off season's been great. You know, most of June and July they're with the strength staff, but we had a few walkthroughs. We went through our installs again, and we feel like we're in a good place going into camp.
What's been your thought seeing all the gains that have come out and what those numbers have meant for you?
Gains.
Like gains in the weight room.
Very excited. You know, when we got here, just with the scheme change going into the new conference, we knew that we had to get bigger. We knew we had to get stronger. And Coach Wiley and his team, they did a great job along with the nutritionists, and every single guy who had a target weight hit that weight. So we're super excited about that.
How much was that about going into the Big Ten, knowing just kind of the size and physicality?
It was a combination of both. You know, I think regardless, the Big Ten is just a bigger, more physical conference. So I think just going into that conference, you naturally had to do that. But then with a different scheme on top of that, we just require guys to be a little bit bigger inside.
When I saw you at the Lot Awards, this was one of the things that you talked about, getting your team a little bit bigger and stronger. Before camp started, are you at that goal where you hoped everyone would be?
We are. And like I said, everyone who had their target weight has hit that weight. Now, is it where we wanted to be down the road? No, it's not, because, you know, everyone has to be able to have the weight that they played the best at, you know, so that's why we're recruiting bigger guys. And, you know, we've kind of changed the way we're targeting high school kids. But as far as the guys that we have right now, everyone's hit their weight, everyone's big and strong right now. We're super excited about it.
Dan and Eric was talking about how you guys knew each other on the Chargers staff,
Yeah.
I think 2017.
Yeah.
What stood out to him then, as you're a defensive assistant? He's a defensive line assistant.
You know, Eric just cared so much about everything he did, whether it was a presentation he had with the staff, whether it was a day where he got to run meetings. Watching him on the field, I just saw how much he cared about everything he did. And then over the course of an entire year, I just saw him get better and better as a coach. And then when I went to Houston, he went to the Rams, and we stayed in touch. And when I got the opportunity to come here, he was the very first person I called.
When you say he was like, was he just like hyper prepared? Is he staying up all night to get ready for these presentations?
He just took a lot of pride in his work. You know, everything he did, he wanted it to be the best. He didn't do anything just to do it, and it stood out.
What's been the biggest challenge in installing, like you said, in these schemes and kind of getting these guys ready? And where do you feel like you're at, and what is maybe surprising about the process?
The biggest challenge, again, is just small things like terminology, what we can call things. It starts with the staff, making sure that we're on the same page as the staff, saying the same things, using the exact same words, and then it trickles down to the players. The toughest thing in college is just the time frame that you have. You know, you don't have a ton of time to meet, so you have to be very, very efficient with how you install. You don't have a ton of time on the field, so you have to be very efficient with how you do your walkthroughs. So I feel like the staff helped me with that, and we did a good job. Where we're at right now, you know, we've gone through most of the playbook with the players. We haven't gone through everything, but right now the players have a great understanding of everything that we've installed. And in the beginning of camp, we're going to go back to install one. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing the first couple of weeks is stuff that they've been doing and stuff that they know.
So like learning a new language to a certain extent with different maybe terminology and all that. How do you handle that as players?
It is. It's a lot of meeting, a lot of studying, and then on our end, we try to make it as simple for them as possible. So this word means this because of this. And once they understand the why, they usually remember easier.
Where do you develop that language as a coach? Like, is that just you're picking up pieces from every stop that you've been on, or where was most influential, I guess, when you were talking about the nitty-gritty?
You know, it's been a little bit of everywhere, and then also when I came down to college, just because of the timing that I got to UCLA last year, I couldn't change all the terminology. It was like 3 weeks before spring ball, so I adopted a lot of theirs. So when I came here, it was kind of like a hodgepodge of some Baltimore stuff, some UCLA stuff, some New York Jet stuff, and then with the mix of the staff now, I feel like we made the terminology system a little bit more efficient. But now it's a combination of some North Dakota stuff, some Houston stuff, so it's a mix of everything.
How much has that been a part of your coaching progression, being able to sort of take ideas from others as opposed to, I would assume there are defensive coordinators out there that, you know, it's their show, they have a scheme they want to run.
I feel like for me, I'm an information guy. I want information from as many places as I can get it, whether that's a former head coach like Coach Lynch or whether that's a GA. I think good ideas come from everywhere. If you want to grow as a coach, you can't block yourself off to ideas from other people. No one knows it all.
What are the biggest lessons that you're taking into this training camp that you've learned over the past year from being a first-year head defensive college coach?
There were some small things from, again, like how we installed, how we conducted our walkthroughs, the pace that we installed, doing everything last year for the first time. As soon as the season ended, I immediately knew, okay, I want to do it like this next time and like this. So it's making small tweaks here and there to try to be as efficient as we can.
Do you feel like this group is ready to go faster in terms of the stuff you can throw at them in training camp than you did in spring?
I do, but we're not going to. We're still going to move at the same pace that we had talked about as a staff. But I feel like right now, especially with the June and July, our players did a great job of doing a lot of work on their own. So like all through the month of July, we met with them every single Monday. We'd have a meeting and a walkthrough. And the rest of the week, they were on their own. They were with the strength staff, but as far as football-wise, they were on their own. They did a great job as far as meeting together just with the players, as far as studying their playbooks, and they're further ahead right now than I thought they'd be.
Eric seems to have had a way of putting a jolt of confidence through the defense. Just talking to the guys. What is it about his personality maybe that lends itself to that role?
His energy, he's like that all day, every day. He's the exact same, which I think goes a long way. It's just the consistency.
Any good stories about him as a defensive line coach when you were?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but ask me next time.
Coach, how much does it help your guys when you get to go against a guy like Zach?
Helps a lot, not just them. We have a couple of pieces on offense where, we want to practice against the best. So being able to sharpen our iron against players like that is just going to make it easier for us in the fall.
Kamari Ramsey was talking the other day about his chess playing. Have you seen his chess skills and how can you see that when he's a safety on the field?
I have not seen his chess skills. I've heard about him though. I've heard he's an outstanding player. But him playing chess makes sense. Just the way he thinks about the game, how quick he learns the playbook. He's a very cerebral guy, very, very smart, and it's not surprising me at all that he's outstanding at chess.
How critical has he been in terms of getting the defense?
He's been huge. Just having a player who knew the scheme on the front end helped accelerate things, because now when we get done with an install, there's just a lot of conversations that kept on going because people were asking him stuff, whereas last year those conversations weren't happening. So I do feel like he sped up the process, especially in the back end.
How do you feel about the